Hello, my name is Lydia and I'm a student of Hispanic Philology at the University of Seville. Our project consists of a study on complements in university students between 20 to 25 years old, both in Andalusia and in the south of Germany, the area where our Erasmus classmates live. In principle, we aren't going to put the research into practice, but it could be useful for those Spanish people who study German and vice versa, so that they know the typical complements of the area and can both use and understand them in case they are said to them. To do this, we chose different situations. For example, your friend tells you how well he plays the piano. By means of questionnaires, we ask 30 Spanish people and 30 German people to write down a compliment they would normally say in these situations. These compliments have to be as natural as possible, including exclamation marks, vowel lengthening, intonation. Then we analyzed the results using a social habit test to see how Spaniards and Germans react to these compliments. The initial idea we had about Germans is that they are drier than Spaniards. However, the final results surprised us quite a bit.
The philological analysis began with the choice of the aspects to be analyzed. Based on Catalina and Maria's work, we decided to study syntactic patterns, syntactic categories, and the most recurrent internal modification mechanisms. First, we divided the speech acts into central acts or supporting acts. Then, we selected the most recurrent syntactic categories in both languages and did the same with the internal modification mechanisms. After, we drew statistics. What conclusions did we observe? German is a more polite language than Spanish because it has a higher number of direct complements, which implies a higher degree of praise. In addition, German uses a large number of modifying adverbs. For example, in the sentence, Du bist mega liebst zu anderen, we observe 3 adverbials.
Hi everyone, my name is Miguel. I am a member of the psychologist group and I want to talk about the methodological part. At first, we start doing a night posture and after that, we did a conceptual map, so like the next one.
For this analysis, as seen in this conceptual map, after selecting 5 subjects from each culture, we have also selected their 6 answers. I mean 2 plus 2 plus 2, obtaining in total 30 Spanish answers and 30 German answers. These answers were analyzed in a category system, in which we first read the answers and selected the test to be highlighted. After that, we have assigned 1 or more values that can complete with such test, and finally once we have obtained all the values, we have decided to group them into categories to have clear conclusions.
And that was my part. It was a very exhausting part, but we have great conclusions. Those conclusions will be explained by my partner, so I leave you with him.
I'm Miguel, and as my partner just said, I'm going to talk about conclusions. Well, we've been able to find a series of differences between the Spanish and the German groups when receiving and reacting to compliments, such as, for example, that the Germans are able to receive the compliments without any problem, which doesn't mean that they do not have empathy, but that they accept compliments without much hesitation, while the Spaniards tend to react with some surprise or even embarrassment, even though they're accepting them. A particularity of the Spanish is the constant use of metaphorical or non-literal expressions something that the Germans do not know very well. Don't know very well how to react to. I mean, not allowing themselves to be qualified with something that does not correspond to their self-concepts are conclusions. Thank you and see you soon.
I'm Emilio and I'm one of the psychology students that took part in this interdisciplinary project, but I'm going to talk about the interdisciplinary aspects of our project. One of the greatest difficulties could be not being able to define our object of study. At the start, we weren't so sure about how could we approach our investigation. That's why another helpful advice is to ask for guidance from other professionals. It could be written papers or teachers and researchers. I would also like to add that our final essay was sent to a scholar to review it, and he gave us some tips to improve it. For example, we could have talked about the sociocultural aspects of both groups and the difference between them. Also, to focus a bit more on related literature, which we sadly couldn't do as we had only a 4-month term worth of time to write from start to finish this investigation. In terms of interdisciplinary collaboration, the most important thing, in my opinion, is organization. Let the objectives and how to address the investigation be clear before even starting. Having all this out of the way, each one can focus on their part of the investigation, addressing it from their discipline, and later every discovery can come together. This is one of the biggest advantages of interdisciplinary collaboration, being able to see from each disciplinary perspective a common object of study. As we were a big group, it is a must to keep in mind everyone's contribution and to accept them even if their opinions might differ from ours, as they are all equally valuable. If it is necessary to make a remark, it should be done in an assertive manner.